everyone, Oliver here again from the Mobility Shop, your mobility scooter specialist. It's not very often we get new mobility scooters in this industry, but even less often do we get a whole new model in a slightly new category, and that's what we've got today. We've got the new Airium from Motion Healthcare. We've got two here. We heard about them a couple of months ago, and they just arrived today, so I thought we'd do a quick review. First of all, let's talk about its size. So these are mid-size scooters, but not quite mid-size. They're slightly bigger than your boot scooter, but slightly smaller than your normal mid-size pavement scooter. But still significantly bigger than the boot scooter. Okay, so in terms of length, these are coming in at 112 centimetres. That's pretty long. That's longer than your average boot scooter, which comes in at around the 1 metre, so a bit longer. These are pretty wide too. They're coming in at 62 centimetres wide. Which is wide for a scooter, but the advantage is you've got a nice lot of space for your feet on the foot plate. In terms of the seat height, from the seat to the floor, we've got 40 centimetres, so not bad at all. Let's look at the comfort of them. These are pretty comfy machines. I can sit on it at 6'2", and I've not got lots of leg room, but it's just about okay. One thing I don't like is the angle of the wheel arches. It's pretty steep, so it means putting your feet any further forward is a bit uncomfy. You see mine are hitting the tiller here, so not the nicest design there. The seat's particularly comfy and particularly padded, a bit like the other scooters from Motion Healthcare recently, like the new Illumina and Liquidite. But also, there is some rear suspension on this too, making it a bit more comfy again. Now, they've opted for solid tyres as opposed to pneumatic tyres. However, we've been impressed riding these because they really are very comfy. You notice that the compound on these tyres is really very soft. So probably the best of both worlds there. Okay, so what else have we got in terms of comfort? I like the fact that they've got the Delta tiller again, and with the really nice soft gripped padded handles. They really make it very comfy. We've also got a light on the front, as you can see here, the LED light. Not quite bright enough in our opinion to light up the pavement in front of you if you're out in the evening, but enough that it's going to allow people to see you a bit more easily. The other thing to note is that we have got, I'm going to take it apart in a minute, but we have got a little bit of adjustment on the seat. We can go up about 1 inch to 1.5 inches. So if you need a little bit more leg room, we can increase the height of the seat. So next, let's look at taking the scooter apart, because obviously you're going to be buying one of these if you want to take it in and out of the car. It's going to come apart in the same way as any other boot scooter. So seat comes off, battery pack just lifts out, the basket lifts off, the front and rear split apart, and then the tiller folds down. Now, the heaviest part is just 13 kilograms on this scooter, which is the main foot plate, and that's ever so light. Now, not as light as some of the other aluminium scooters that have come out recently, like the Illumina, which is coming in at just under 10 kilograms, but considering the size of this scooter, it's that much bigger and that much more comfy. That's pretty impressive. The second heaviest part is the motor, gearbox, transaxle, and the rear end. I'm going to put that on our scales now, down here. And that's coming in at just 10 kilograms, so again, pretty impressive. Worth noting, whilst we've got it apart, the motor on here is only a 200 watt motor, so not the most powerful. It would have been nice to have seen a 250 watt motor on a machine this size, but it is only a 4 mile an hour pavement scooter, so I think we're going to be fine with that. It is rated for 8 degrees of incline and the 25 stone carrying capacity, so I think we might see some issues if you were going up to 25 stone and going up that 8 degree incline, but apart from that, I think it's going to be fine. In terms of putting it back together, like all modern scooters, very simple. We just line it up, put it together, tiller adjusts. The battery pack, again being lithium, is extremely light. And the seat goes back on. There we go, in well under 60 seconds you've got the scooter back together. Okay, so the next thing is the range. These scooters do 25 miles, well, at least that's what the manufacturer says. Now we haven't gone out at 4 miles now. Doing 25 miles is going to take just over 6 hours by my calculations, so we haven't done that. But what we have done is put it on our rolling road and put down 100 kilograms on it and had it running, and it's run for 6 hours and we've had no issues. The battery's almost empty at that stage, so I think they're pretty accurate with the 25 miles, but again, that's under ideal conditions, you know, flat terrain with not too much weight on it. The next thing is the price. Now, these aren't cheap. They're coming in at about £2,500. That's slightly more than any other small to mid-sized scooter, but we need to remember here, this is new to the market. It's aluminium, it's got an aluminium frame and a lithium battery pack, a big lithium battery pack with a big range on it as well. It's a 30 amp hour lithium pack. Now, anything new is always going to cost a little bit more, and the fact that the Illumina, the next size down, you know, you're looking sort of over the £2,000 mark, 2,200. I don't think it's a huge amount more money considering the bigger size and the extra comfort you've got. So on that, let's think about what other scooters this would compete with or compare with, because there's not much in this space. You know, you either go from the small boot scooters like your Pride Go-Go's or the Illuminas, and then you jump up to the mid-size scooters, pavement scooters, maybe even a Vector Sport or something like this. So in this sort of between the mid and the boot scooter section, there's not many. The ones that come to mind are the Zest Plus from TGA, the Sapphire 2 from Sunrise Medical, or the Rascal Vista from Airium Mobility. Now all of those kind of fit this same sort of category, but remember none of those have the aluminium frame, so they're all a lot heavier. If you remember, we just said the heaviest part on this is just 13 kilograms. That's pretty easy for most people to lift into the boot of a car. The heaviest part on those other scooters is all about 20 kilograms or 22 kilograms on the Sapphire 2. Plus, those scooters have been out for several years now. So just in terms of general design and the technology, they're just getting a little bit old. So this is really quite a bit nicer. There's nothing really else in the market to compare with it. Okay, so moving on to Motion Healthcare as a company, what are they like? Well, they've not been around that long, but in the last few years that we've been dealing with them, they've been excellent. What I mean by being excellent is in terms of they've been bringing out new products to the market, a bit like this, time and time again. And they're not just bringing out any old product, they really are thinking about them. And when they come out, they feel quality, they're there to meet a particular need, a particular type of usage scenario. But as a company, they've been really good too at honouring their warranty and having parts available in the UK and available on a next day basis. That makes a huge difference. I mean, we've got some other companies that when we have to get parts, we're waiting for often 8 to 12 weeks, and it's just no good for our customers. So we feel really confident in selling scooters from Motion Healthcare. So I'm pretty sure you'd be safe wherever you get your one from, as long as it's one of their products. Another thing Motion Healthcare do really well is listen to our feedback. Not just our feedback, but the feedback from customers and other suppliers like us. And then they act on that. An example would be the Illuminas when they came out, and their seat posts were extremely tight, so it meant to get the seat off was difficult, to get it back on was really tough, and for our customers it was just never going to work. So they listened and made some changes. Actually a little bit later on it became a bit too loose, and then they adjusted it again. But it's nice that we've got that relationship with a supplier that does listen and does make changes. So again, another reason to recommend Motion Healthcare. So in conclusion, what do we think about the Airium? We've been very impressed here. I mean, it's a great scooter. It's extremely comfy to ride. It feels good quality. It definitely is a level up from your other boot scooters. I mean, our leading seller at the moment is the Illumina from Motion Healthcare because of its lightweight. And this not being that much heavier, from 10 kilograms to 13 kilograms heaviest part, it really is not that much difference. But the benefit in terms of size and comfort and actually just feeling a bit more stable when you're on it really is worth it. So I think for anyone that's maybe a little bit larger in size or wants to go on slightly more uneven terrain or doesn't feel very stable on a small boot scooter, the Airium is definitely worth considering. Well, that's it for this review. we'll be back again shortly when the next new product's out. But if you've got any comments, please leave them below.